Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, hello! Hi kids! It's story time! Picture this. A little cottage, the home of an old man. All he wants is to be left alone. Editor's note, I'm not actually retelling the story of Up, so that footage may not work. I am still you. It is a story about an old man though.
To you who vanquished me.
Not that old.
You're a good eater today, Maggie.
Less senile.
Benjamin.
Benjamin Button? He's not even old. He's a kid.
That's a mighty full sack you're carrying.
Piss off, you perverted old freak!
Ooh, we got a fighter.
I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, the old man. Yes, this guy. One day, the old man is enjoying his quiet afternoon ritual. The serenity. When suddenly, there's a loud bang. What is that, he thinks. Then another bang. Has a bird just flown into my front window? Curious, he gets up. Just doing some old man sounds. He looks out the window and what he sees is unexpected. Kids taking rocks from his gravel driveway and throwing them at his house. He badly wants to do something to make them stop. Bloody kids, I'm gonna put a stop to this.
They drew first blood.
Not today. I'm too old for this. A day passes. It's the afternoon again. Another bang. Oh my God, not again. Then another bang, but he's not sure how to deal with it. He tries to pretend it's not happening. Then another day passes and the same thing happens again. But this time, he has a glint in his eye and a spring in his step because he has a solution. Now, before I tell you what he does, I'd love you to think, what would you do? We've asked this question of hundreds of leaders over the years, and we get a huge range of responses. The reason I'm asking is that this story is a sort of parable that illustrates something pretty profound about the nature of human motivation. And what the old man does is very unusual. So what would you do if you were him? Here's what he does. When he hears the bang this time, the old man emerges from his house with a mysterious bag. He smiles, I've got something good for you kids. And then he shows them that the sack is full of gold dollar coins. Yes, for our overseas friends in Australia, a dollar is not a note, but a gold coin. If you come back tomorrow and throw rocks at my house, I'll give you each $1. Will you please come back? They look at each other, rather confused. And the leader of the pack speaks first. This guy's crazy. Sure, old man, we'll come back tomorrow. We were going to anyway. And they walk off rather happily. The next day they come back again, they throw rocks at the house, and to their surprise they actually each get a gold coin. If you come back tomorrow, I'll give you the same. The next day, the same thing happens, everyone gets $1. And again the next day. But on the fourth day, as he gives them each $1, he shows them that the sack is now empty. I don't have any more money for you, but boys, I still like you to come back tomorrow and throw rocks at my house. At this point, the leader of the gang scoffs. What? No way! Do we look stupid? There's no way we're gonna throw rocks at your house for free. And they walk off, never to return again. So what is going on here? Let me explain. You may be aware of these two concepts: intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. When the kids were first coming to the house, they were intrinsically motivated. That is, they were doing it for its own sake. Throwing rocks was its own reward. It was intrinsically rewarding. They were willing to do it for free. Intrinsic motivation equals doing something for its own sake. The activity is its own reward. Then the old man introduced an extrinsic motivation, the money. Extrinsic motivation is doing something because it leads to a separable outcome. And you'd think the more motivation, the better, right? Intrinsic motivation plus extrinsic motivation equals more motivation, right? The answer is no. We know this from the behavioral science, and this is at first counterintuitive. When someone is intrinsically motivated to do something, that motivation is often durable and sustainable as it's not subject to variable outside forces. However, when you add extrinsic motivation, something odd happens. While at first it might appear you have additional motivation, what happens is that this extrinsic motivation starts to replace the intrinsic motivation until eventually you predominantly have extrinsic motivation. What's crazy is if something interferes with this extrinsic motivation, like in this case the old man stopped giving them money, then you have no motivation. So what's the point here? Well, there's lots we can say on this, but this is meant to be a short video. So it's simply this. If we are trying to motivate ourselves or motivate others, we must be very wary of defaulting to extrinsic motivators. We're talking rewards or punishments. Extrinsic factors can be money, bonuses, or other incentives, the promise of a promotion, the hope of praise, or the threat of a potential feedback conversation. Instead, we need to become students of intrinsic motivation. In fact, I believe you cannot become a great leader of people if you're not willing to dedicate some time to truly understanding this. What motivates people to do their best and do a great job that is not related to any extrinsic reward or punishment? In fact, that question is a great conversation to have in your team. The answers people come up with are very motivating and often very inspiring.
The pleasure's all on this side of the table, trust me.
What you're looking for are sources of motivation that are enduring and that are true to that individual's personality. How would you answer this question? Of course, failing all that, you could just hire a motivational speaker.
And if your dad has said, oh, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, just as long as you have fun, well, I hate to say it, your dad's a loser.